right, let's give Bull Streams a chance to get synced up here. Should be going live just now on both platforms. Queues have been closed for just about a minute, so we'll be going over Qs and SPY closing price as well as today's plays. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for January 19th, 2022. Qs down 1.1%, SPY down about 1%, and IWM down 1.6%. We came into today bearish overall, but I think a little bit of a tougher call as far as what would happen next, what would happen immediately. Because the sell setup on the Qs has already got to target, we've got to some support already. So we kind of saw a pretty decent bounce to start things off. Actually, market gapped up, retested, and then got the bounce. So you can see a little bit of back and forth first, right, to respond to that support. And as we saw, the support was not able to hold. Market continued lower, breaking the support there on the Qs and the SPY. So the hourly remains in a downtrend here going into tomorrow on the Qs and SPY. We're a little bit extended as we were today. Okay, so as we move forward, still going to be bearish on the Qs and SPY. Nothing really happened today to kind of change that. Downtrend on the hourly, Q's already a downtrend on the daily. We'd identified this sell setup, which got to target yesterday. All right, so gonna remain bearish on the Qs and SPY going into tomorrow. Would be nice to see just even some consolidation and then a bounce, but we don't necessarily have to have it. You can see the hourly on the SPY is not that extended from price. We got a little bit just from the break of this afternoon, but otherwise, yeah, this looks sustainable, okay, to continue lower. All right. Not a lot today, I thought, as far as high quality gaps. Really nice play from Sammy on the VVOS. Here was the gap, basically causing a breakdown failure on that. Had a nice move up this morning. I think that's what the play was right there. Kind of like a 2-minute 1, 2, 3, and then the follow through on the VVOS. So that was pretty nice. And then the CRDF. Ended up playing this a couple times today. The first time not really working, the second time able to make up for it. So I'll show you both plays here. The CRDF was looking at this base right here on the 2-minute, which was a 5-minute sell setup. So 5-minute also, you can see the base kind of on this actually extends all the way up to here. And so that's what I was looking at. Was looking to get it under 73, but it barely got any shares on this initial break here. So then I went full under the low of the day, which I wasn't able to get as many shares because now it was a bigger stop. But it didn't matter because either play ended up not working. Okay, you can see they rallied all the way back up and broke that pivot. Okay, so that was the first play. Now, you know, it's something that I don't especially like to do, which is replay things, especially if I think the first entry is really good. But what I wanted to show you today, why I thought this was worth a shot to replay, is the concept of resting volume. Okay, there are a couple plays so far this year that really stand out as far as having that and having that be really compelling. And that was on this CRDF. Notice how in this area, now part of this is lunch, but also in the way that it's basing here, right? The volume is really, really low, right? That's what we call resting volume. That's what we want to see in a base, okay? That's what we want to see. Let's go back to the PL, if you remember the PL. Now this one was before lunch, I think, was when this was about to trigger. And again, when we look at the base, look at the corresponding volume down there. That's what we want to see, okay? And then the volume picks up when the thing starts moving. That's perfectly fine. You know, unless it's, you know, really wide range bar, like if something like the UL happens, okay, then you know, when it breaks out this way, which this was news, but sometimes they happen like this. It break out like that, then you gotta, you know, okay, there's a problem. You might need to take the thing because everybody got in or out at once. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so on a situation like that, then yeah, big warning sign that, you know, this is a crowded trade. You need to look to trail or take. But when you're looking at the base, okay, and when it gets into that basing and you start to see this drop off, almost this lack of interest, that's what we want to see, because what we're looking for on the basis is basically resting, consolidation, because this has already started to move. Okay, it's already started to move, and then we get the base. So the CRDF, we got that consolidation, right? And then we also got the volume dropped off. Then you see once it started to move, the volume started to pick back up again. Natural for it to pick up again into the end of the day, right? Just as we often get more volume at the open, but there's a clear bit of resting volume, decreasing volume, low volume inside the base. That's what we want to see, so that when the move gets made, when the decision gets made, the direction is chosen, which way it's going to go, right? Then you see the volume start to pick back up. Okay? So it's just one amplifier. You know, we don't really use a volume in most situations when we're analyzing the chart, to be fair. Most situations, I don't really care what the volume is. You know, only if it's, you know, got a climactic, you got really big volume. But a lot of times in these bases too, they serve as a nice amplifier too. Okay, that you got this really low volume. Most people have stopped watching it. People have lost interest. And then even for me, when it didn't work the first time, I kind of didn't want to play it again, right? But then it made the next move. And that's just what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get the timing wrong, in which in this case, while it did make new lows, that wasn't enough for me to take target, right? And especially because I didn't get filled the first time I tried to get it, right? Okay, so just wanted to go over that today. The resting volume inside the base, all right, is something, it's a nice amplifier for already good, decent quality bases. Okay, all right, hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good evening.